Okay, I'm not sure if I'm being successful here, as I'm trying to work with a newer SLR that actually has a video feature. My video camera is not cooperating. So I'm going to do my best, because I know a lot of people are really anxiously awaiting a video of these guys. This is our Sheepadoodle litter that was born on August 8th, 2012, today being the 27th of August, 2012. They are 2.5 weeks old now. This is a litter of 10 lovely puppies, 4 girls, 6 boys. Of course, they are all spoken for at this point. We do have litters coming up, not necessarily my timing for them to come all at once. We actually had 4 girls come in to heat at the same time, or near the same time, and for obvious reasons we did hold back 1, but decided to allow 3, 2 of which are maiden females, to be with their guys, and we have had witness breedings of 2 of those couples, and that would be Ruthie and Boaz. Ruthie, of course, is one of our sisters, AKC registered Old English Sheepdog that joined our family. Both of them joined our family as puppies early last year, and they have been bred to our Boaz, who is 2.5 years old. We've had him since he was a puppy, and he has been with our family since, well, that would be 2010 that he came to join us, and he came to join us from one of our best breeder friends in Ohio, Pat Jones, and he, excuse me, is our beautiful brown and white tuxedo AKC registered standard poodle. Then the other litter that we know that we may very well be expecting a litter from is Yogi. Everybody's very familiar with Yogi. He's the sire of this litter, AKC registered Old English Sheepdog, joined our family as a puppy in 2010. Part of the beginning of our program that we started researching back in 2009 for Sheepadoodles. Our first litter was blessed to us in late spring of 2011 with Fanny and Yogi. Fanny has now since been retired. Emmy, we witnessed a breeding with Emmy and Yogi. This will be at the very least Emmy's last litter before she takes off for at least a year. If not, we may even choose to retire her. Now, Emmy has been with us. I think she's a little over 4 now, if not just turned 4. She has likewise been with our family since she was a tiny little puppy. And she was named for her beautiful little eyes. When I picked her up at the airport, the first thing I saw were her beautiful green eyes, and therein I called her Emerald, and we call her Emmy for short. Okay, there's a possibility. Now, Miss Cola, who we also acquired as a puppy last year specifically for our Sheepadoodles, we did witness a heat cycle with her, but not a breeding with she and Yogi. But he has done this to us before. He's a pretty private guy, so there is a possibility she's been bred. It'll be a few weeks, of course, before we can confirm that. We have started our reservation list for those upcoming litters. You can visit our website for more information on that, www.lawpdoodle.com. And of course, if you would like to get on our list, you can email us at lpdk10608@gmail.com or call us at 304-745-5878. We can tell you a little bit more about that. And the list is growing daily, so if you would like to get on those lists of those possible litters coming up in October, they'll be going home if all goes well and as planned, and as we estimate, probably just before Christmas. Okay? So let's get on with this, and I'm hoping that I'm actually recording, not sure. This beautiful big girl right here that's kind of walking around now. Of course, they're still the quiet age, but their eyes have just opened, so I thought I'd try to get a quick peek of these guys. But they're still pretty much sleeping most of the day if they're not eating. That is the girl that we initially called Patches in our litter, and she was picked right away by the first family on our list, Nancy and her family, and they have named her Olive. So there is Miss Olive, and there is her face. Okay, this boy right here, this is the one we call Elmer. There's Mr. Elmer. He's got 2 beautiful black patches on his face, and he's got the little dot on his forehead, which a couple of puppies in this litter did. Okay, so there's our Mr. Elmer. Yeah, my nice big yawn, Mr. Elmer. Okay, crawling up here to on top of our sister here, this is the little girl that we call Seneca. Okay. So there is Seneca. She's also got the little dot on her forehead. She's a little bit smaller than her brother, but her markings are very, very similar. We were very pleased with the markings in this litter. So Jessie did all that we'd hoped she would when we picked her out as a puppy and more. Okay, now this big boy, oh, he's so handsome. Look at you. Yeah, look at you. This is the guy we call Sigmund. He's got a little bit more black on his face. And but he's very, very symmetrical. Lots of white on his chest, all 4 white feet, and a big, nice white collar. And of course, you can see he's even got a little white mark on his rump there, and white tip on his tail, as all of them do. So very, very handsome. Okay, this girl here with the purple collar, this is the one we call Beulah. Beulah has one patch on one side of her face, a little black ear on the other here. Both ears are black. And so there is our Beulah. You can see she's got a little bit of white down here as well on her tuxedo. Ah, nice big yawn for Beulah too. All right. Hopefully we can make sure we don't miss anybody, so we'll try to move along. I don't know who this is lounging here. That would be more, no, I take that back. That is Mr. Ralph. Let's see if we can wake him up. Can we stir up Mr. Ralph? Yeah, he's enjoying a nice leisurely afternoon nap, aren't you? Look at him. Come here, Ralph. Come here, Ralph. Yeah, he's our green collared boy. And there is Ralph's markings. And he's also got quite a bit of black on his face with a nice white, big white stripe on his face. And the little center dot that seems to be, I wonder if that's a yogi mark. Yeah, because he's had that on some of his other puppies. Not that he has it himself, but he seems to throw it in his puppies. So we'll start calling that a yogi mark, huh? Yeah, a little dot in the middle of your forehead. Okay, so you can see how Mr. Oh, oops, I'm sorry, guys. Not used to having a big, long strap with the camera, since I'm used to having a little handheld video camera. So there goes Ralph. All right, right here is Morris. He's our little guy, although not so little anymore. He's doing quite well. He's the dark blue collared boy. And of course he's got the big patch on one side of his face, and there's the markings on his body. Okay, and he's still the smaller of the puppies, but quickly catching up. Actually, there's very little difference between he and his sister Seneca there. And but he is doing quite well and thriving quite well, gaining weight at the same rate as his siblings, and he's a good guy. So he was awful tiny when he was born, but see, he's done well ever since. We've never had to supplement him. Worked with them just to make sure he was doing okay for the first hour and a half after his birth, but he's been able to make it on his own ever since. He's a nice, healthy guy. All right, and let's see. This girl with the yellow collar is the one we call Nellie, and there's Nellie's face. And you can see Nellie's got a nice big wide white collar and a little white patch on her rump. And that's Mr. Morris over there talking. All right, who do we got back here? Another one that's just lounging around. Yep, this one here is the one we call Butch. Let's see. Oh, it's kind of harder for me to see the viewfinder on this camera as well, so bear with me, folks. This is just getting a little bit used to handling something different and hoping that I'm not doing this in vain. And he's got a little dirt here on his forehead. Oh, okay. All right. No, I can't get that off. I don't know, it's stuck. We'll get it off later. Gee, it's nothing to worry about, huh? Nothing to little worry about. Just something from Mommy licking us. Something from Mommy licking us. Okay, so there is Butch. All right, and he's got a nice big white mark back here. A couple white marks actually on his rump. All right, there he goes. Where are you going, Mr. Butch? They're starting to crawl around. They're just not active for long periods of time yet, but give them a few days. They change so much and so rapidly at this stage. And in a few days, they're going to be running around and starting their little barking and things like that. Yep, there's little Miss Seneca. Yep, and there's Mr. Morris over there making little squeaks. Listen to them. I love them when they start making their little puppy sounds. All right, who do we got back here? I think this is Mr. Harvey. Mr. Harvey, he's the biggest one in the litter. Actually, I think he was firstborn, come to think of it. Anyway, I can't remember specifically, but I do believe he was the firstborn. It was either he or it may have been his sister, the one that is now called Olive. They are marked very similar. She has a little bit more black, but they both share this beautiful blend on their back Again, kind of looks like the camera's going out of focus, so I'm not really sure, and I don't know how to operate this. I got to go read instructions. Okay, and he's got it as well on his back. I'm very, very fascinated with this. I've not had this in my puppies before, and I think it's really, really pretty. I'd be interested to see how it turns out as they mature and their full adult coat comes in a few months from now. So we really, really do count on the pictures from our families, especially since it is still a fairly new breed. Like I said, we have been studying it since we first stumbled across the idea. No, we didn't come up with the idea. Somebody else certainly did. But we were fascinated with the idea, and of course we had already been breeding standard poodles, specifically party standard poodles that we love so much, which blended into this idea quite well. And anyway, we had started our research on the Old English Sheepdog back in the summer of 2009 and went from there, and it took us quite a while to find our perfect Yogi, who we consider perfect, and he joined our family in the early summer of 2010. His birthday is in April of, I believe it's April of 2010, and he has sired a few beautiful litters for us, consistently well-behaved puppies with a couple of our girls. And this is the end result, of course, of one of them. And we certainly welcome you to inquire about our future upcoming litters. Our Sheepadoodles is our main focus, but standard poodles are still a part of our program. Our golden doodles are on hiatus right now, so we have 4 F1 girls that we're raising from our own program that won't be ready or mature for breeding age until sometime mid-late 2013. And right now we just have a couple of Labradoodle girls that we may have a litter or two with in the future, possibly one coming later this year. So once again, it's Lawpadoodle Kennel, www.LAWPDOODLE Kennel, KENNEL.com. And we are, of course, located 4 hours west of DC and Baltimore, 2 hours south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and 2 hours north of Charleston, West Virginia. And we welcome you to contact us if you might be interested in one of our puppies. And we thank you for viewing our puppies, and may God bless you. Somebody just went,